Colder temperatures could be a factor for some of these freezing and even frozen pipes. Did you know frozen pipes can lead to pipe bursting, causing water damage, costly repairs, and potential contamination to our water systems? So we can't control the weather, so what can we do to be proactive with these pipes? Joining us live on The Splash to answer some of these questions, we have from the Water and Sewage Utility Department, Director for the Water and Sewage Utilities Department from West Bloomfield Township, Justin Taylor. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me back.
Hey, sir, we're freezing our butts off outside, but these pipes are something that we need to pay attention to, too. So just like I mentioned before, what are some steps that residents can take to be proactive and prevent our pipes from freezing during the winter?
Yeah, there are many steps that a homeowner or business owner can take to lower your chances of that. I do have a couple visual aids with me here today.
Okay.
One of the most easiest ways to do it is with a piece of pipe insulation. This is made to fit whatever size pipe it's going over. So different size pipes take a different size insulation, especially along the exterior walls inside your home. That's where it's going to be the coldest, is along an outside wall. If those pipes run up the interior of those walls, and especially on the windward side of the house, so it's getting hit with these, polar vortex winds coming in, and it doesn't take a whole lot for that pipe to freeze. Another thing, that kind of touches on that is if you've got seal up any air leaks that you have along that edge. You can get regular wall insulation in there at the top of where the basement meets the next floor up. Get some insulation in there. Last ditch effort would be to let it run. Moving water cannot freeze. Now you just got to let that have a steady drip. Please don't, flip on your faucet full blast and just let it rip, because unfortunately your next quarterly water bill will indicate that happened.
Oh yeah.
But and I don't want that to happen anywhere.
Right. None of us do.
But if we get into that real polar vortex kind of weather, moving water can't freeze. So you just let the warm water drip in a faucet, and that keeps that water in those pipes moving, keeps that pipe warmer.
And being in Michigan, living in Michigan for long enough, we know during the winter we are definitely vulnerable to these polar vortexes that could be on and off, and just these freezing temperatures as well. So thank you for all of that information. But kind of moving into the next phase of that, let's say we didn't insulate our pipes, we didn't let the water run. What are some signs that kind of show us that our pipes could be freezing, and what should residents do if they do notice these signs?
There's not a real telltale sign other than you turn on the faucet and you're not getting water. Now, that may not be for the entire home. That could be in an isolated area of the house where you've got a frozen pipe in the bathroom that sits against the exterior wall, something like that. Many folks here in this township, in this area of the state, are what we refer to as snowbirds. So they will go down south. Now, in those cases, you can winterize your whole house just as you would an RV, for example. You can winterize your whole house and turn your thermostat down. You don't want to turn that off unless you extremely winterize the home, which means you would have us out there to shut off the water at the stop box. You'd have to blow out all your lines, put antifreeze in your drains. Wow. That sort of thing.
Wow.
But getting back to your question, Kevin, water's going to be, it may be sluggish when you first turn on that faucet. If it comes out sluggish, or you may see that frosty consistency to it, where it's like if you're going to go get a Slurpee from 7-Eleven,
right,
you're close to where this pipe is going to be. It's frozen. Now, just because the pipe freezes doesn't mean you're going to have a burst pipe, but the more frequent that a pipe does freeze, that as water is one of the few substances that expands as it freezes, which creates that extra pressure inside the pipe. So when that happens, and if it does over and over, that is going to find the weak spots in those pipes, eventually could lead to a burst pipe.
Interesting. Okay, so it seems like for the most part we hit a lot of the pipes, the water flows inside the home. I want to step outside the home for just a second, but join us right here live on The Splash. Water and Sewage Utilities Director for West Bloomfield Township, Justin Taylor, talking about how we can be proactive when it comes to freezing pipes or frozen or cold pipes during the winter season. Now, what I really want to kind of get to you is the outdoor plumbing, the water hoses and things of that, the sprinkler systems. What advice do you have for residents to properly winterize their outdoor water pipes and things of that nature? Is it similar to indoor? Please explain.
It is. Many of your exterior garden hose spigots or your irrigation system will have a shutoff valve in the house that isolates that from the rest of your system. First thing, you want to close that valve and drain that off. Now with a automatic sprinkler system, you would require getting a company out there to blow out those lines that are out in the yard. And they would winterize that for you. Every year we get a handful of homes that, whether it's a new owner that was in there and has never dealt with that, or just it slipped their mind and they didn't get that winterized. What happens is the vacuum breaker on the outside of the house attached to that sprinkler system will freeze. You don't know anything until we get that next thaw. So,
Right.
we got polar vortex this week. Next week, we're back in the 40s. All of a sudden, there's a fountain spraying from the side of the house. And that's what's happened. That frozen water is now thawed, and that's just a nonstop running water.
Wow.
Touching back on the hose bibs, that's my other visual aid here. This is a simple, this one here is made by, it's called Polar Cap, but you can put this over top once you've disconnected your garden hose and stored that in the shed or the garage, wherever you put it for the winter. You want those off, definitely. Take the hose off, put it away. But this is a device that you can put on that faucet. So this would just go over your handle here, this little rubber grommet.
Okay.
And it just tightens on there. And this will help. You can get these for $4 or $5 any home improvement store.
Nice.
And if you've got 2 or 3 of them, put one on each. That will help stopping that spigot connection from freezing, which then can work its way back through the wall and give you problems inside the home if you don't have a shutoff valve for that system.
Right, a snowball effect of damages, no pun intended, right there also. So thank you for providing those visuals also for those. And for people listening on 89.3 Lakes FM, make sure you watch this again on civiccentertv.com so you can see those visuals as well. Don't want to hold up too much more of your time. I do have 2 very, very quick questions I feel like are very important also I want you to answer. One, for the fact, how does a water main break affect residents' daily use of water, and how does your department actually handle these water main breaks that are outside of our homes when they do break?
Yeah, good question. Thank you. So this is water main break season. Now, having said that, it can happen anytime throughout the year, but why we get more in the winter months is as we get these colder temperatures and warmer temperatures and they're back and forth, what happens is the ground is freezing and that frost line is impacting, the ground's shifting. So as the ground shifts, Mother Nature is a lot stronger than whatever we come up with to make a water main out of. So as a water main breaks, really our customers are our first line of notification. They'll see the water is coming up out of the ground somewhere and call that in, whether that's to our department during the day. But we do have, Kevin, 24 hours a day, there is a staff member that is ready to respond. We have an on-call technician as well as an on-call supervisor.
Okay.
So during the day, anybody can reach out to us at our maintenance number and speak to someone on staff. If you see anything after hours, whether it's just for your home or it is a water main break in this case, calling police dispatch, non-emergency, and they will reach out to our staff member.
There you
We've
go.
got a inventory of repair clamps for all different makes of water main, and we are ready to go and respond to these. First thing, we would go out there, determine, is it a water main break? Is it a service line break? Something like that. But once we know it's a water main break, we need to shut down the system for that little area, or throttle it down. And then you get Mistig out to mark all the other underground infrastructure, and then we can begin the repair on that.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish if you have more, please.
All I was going to say is now, as far as a follow-up to that, we, after every main break, we take a water sample, and that goes to a county certified lab to make sure that this water is safe to drink. We flush the system once it's back online, blow out everything we can out of the nearest fire hydrants, and take those samples in. To be sure that the water is indeed safe for our customers to drink. But if it didn't happen to be, if we had to do a long shutdown where there's zero pressure there, we would notify all the homeowners and business owners that would be affected for a possible boil water.
Right. Man, it's a lot to that I don't think a lot of our residents or viewers and audience knew about it when it comes to these frozen pipes, the damages that they can do, and how we can be proactive to help those also. Justin, there's so much more I want to ask you and break down. We may have to make time to get you on again to ask more, but we appreciate your information and your time. Once again, the Water and Sewage Utilities Director for West Bloomfield Township, Justin Taylor. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.